Absolutely stunning stuff for you. If you thought basic economics couldn't take a bigger beating than it did during Donald Trump's first term, I have a new poll for you to look at. A new CBS News YouGov poll just dropped, and it is absolute and total cognitive dissonance. It is a farcical nightmare. Take a look at this.
Something massive just dropped that exposes everything about Trump's economic game plan. We're not just talking about poll numbers. We're talking about a masterclass in how voters are being manipulated into supporting policies that will hurt their own wallets. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. Let's break this down.
Now, I want to kind of preview for you. You're going to look at these numbers and say, David, those seem completely incoherent. 79% of Americans were asked, Americans were, let me put it a different way. Let me be clear. Americans were asked, what should Trump's top priority be? And 79% of them said to lower prices. Lowering prices is the top priority. Put aside for a moment that lowering prices means deflation, and that deflation can mean economic slowdown, and that can mean layoffs, and that can mean a lot of things that aren't good. Just ignore all of that for a second because we've got to put a limit somewhere, right? 79% of Americans say the number one priority should be lowering prices. Great. 52% of Americans favor Donald Trump's tariffs. 79% want lower prices as the number one goal, and 52% say, I'm in favor.
Wait, let this sink in for a second. These numbers are actually insane. 79% of people want lower prices, but they're cheering for policies they know will make everything more expensive. This is like watching someone complain about being cold while they're turning down the heat. But that's the genius of this manipulation. They've got people so caught up in the narrative that they're literally voting to make their groceries more expensive.
Of Trump's tariffs, which will raise prices. And here's the kicker. 59% of Americans correctly believe that the tariffs will increase prices. So let me summarize that for you. People want lower prices. They support a policy that will raise prices, and they know that the policy they support is going to raise prices. But the most important thing for them is lower prices. This is hurting my brain, ladies and gentlemen. They're eating the cats. I feel like it's a disaster. Now, just yesterday, I did this story about people who can't do fourth grade math, and we expect them to parse major, complex policy proposals. Here is a great example of what happens when people are just clueless. But I don't think that this is just a math problem. This is a Trump problem. Trump, we look at these numbers, we say, wait, you want lower prices, but you support the tariffs and you know that they're going to increase prices. Something must be wrong. What's happening here? Trump has somehow managed to convince his supporters that up is down and left is right. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, and we pay for them.
This right here is the whole game exposed. Remember those washing machine prices jumping 12%? That wasn't China paying, that was you at the register. The brilliance of this scam is getting people to celebrate paying more while thinking they're sticking it to China. It's like being excited about punching yourself in the face because you think it'll give someone else a black eye.
At the cash register. It's not China that pays for them. It's not Mexico. That's how this works. And Trump isn't really hiding this because Trump's tariffs have consistently raised prices. Remember when the washing machines went up 12% after that first round of tariffs during Donald Trump's first term. Now Trump's running the exact same scam. And somehow a chunk of the electorate has decided, I know we're going to pay more. I want the tariffs, and I also want lower prices. When inflation spikes again during Trump's term, if he does this, he may not do it, but if Trump does this, inflation will spike again. Wages will again not keep up with inflation. Under Biden, wage growth has exceeded inflation for the first time in a while.
The numbers don't lie, folks. Wages are finally outpacing inflation under Biden, but Trump's got one tool in his box: tariffs, more taxes, more price hikes. It's like watching a doctor prescribe bleeding with leeches for every single illness. But here's the real kicker. These tariffs aren't about helping American workers. They're about creating economic chaos that Trump can blame on everyone else. And people are falling for it hook, line, and sinker.
What is Trump's solution going to be when inflation starts going up and outpacing wage growth? Is it going to be more tariffs? Because Trump seems to have one tool, and that is the tariff. And when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Do we get a national emergency about the rising cost of Trump's Big Mac or whatever it is that he orders with seed oils and dyes all over it? I don't know what the answer is, but there is something very serious happening here. And unfortunately, I got a little bit of flack. Most people understood yesterday when I said, guys, how are we not doing 0.8 times 0.12? How is this such a difficult math problem? And I connected it to the lack of education and just a lot of the problems we have in this country. And most people got what I was saying. 99% of you did. 1% wrote to me, said, David, you're being elitist. You're doing this, you're doing that. You're a terrible person. Some of them even used anti-Semitic slurs. But most people understood that what I was pointing out was that if much of the population can't do fourth grade math, if much of the population doesn't understand the difference between a plurality and a majority, how on earth can we expect people to understand tariffs? Except a lot of people do understand it, and they still want it, even though what it will do is the opposite of what they're asking for, which is lower prices. I'm at a loss, folks. There's a reason I've been holding a stress ball on recent shows, right? What do we do with this? I don't know. Yeah, education's a part of it, but how do you fix that for people that are 40 right now and believe all of this nonsense? I don't have the answer. I do promise you that I explain in detail how it got this bad in my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine. So if you have not yet ordered it, I hope you will. Free stuff is available to everybody who pre-orders the book. We are pushing towards 4,000 pre-orders. The average commercially released book does not sell 2,000 copies, okay? We're already at close to 4,000 pre-orders. So thank you to everybody who has pre-ordered. You can go to davidpakman.com/freebookstuff after you've pre-ordered to get all of your free stuff, right? Truly free stuff. Let's take a quick break and then much more on what we can expect economically and so many more things.
Look, this isn't just about tariffs or inflation. It's about exposing how the entire system manipulates people into supporting policies that hurt them. They've got folks so wrapped up in culture war narratives that they'll literally vote to make themselves poorer. That's why independent media matters. If you're tired of watching people get played while their wallets get lighter, smash that subscribe button right now. We're going to keep exposing these manipulation tactics every single week. Drop "wake up" in the comments if you're done being economically gaslit. Stay sharp, stay angry, peace out.